Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I wanted to hop on because I've just filmed the final, well, not the final message, but I filmed the final message for myself today, which is the Angelic Council message that you will see at the end of this week. And at that end of that video, I said that, that was going to be my last video. There wasn't going to be any videos from me next week. And that was a surprise to me, but then I remembered everything that I've been told over the past couple of weeks, and I've just been feeling this absolute bulk of energy coming to a pinnacle point, and I feel like that point is going to be October. I'm not being told everything that is happening in that space or what entirely is going to happen, but I just feel this massive shift of energy that is ready to be brought forward to the collective. But I feel like this is going to be perhaps for some, quite a destabilizing space, and I know that there is a lot of energy that is happening behind the scenes that is of a very self-serving notion out there right now, and I think many of you are connected into that somewhere too, and this is definitely something that I've been working through behind the scenes. I felt like I've absolutely collapsed in on self, and there was 2 points of notion to this. I've been upgrading with teams of light, and egos had to be shattered again. I've been having to reach deeper recesses of self and shadow to a higher degree than I think I've ever experienced before, and it's been quite an eye-opening experience across the board, but also I think something that really rocked me to my center, and things brought to my attention that I just wasn't expecting to face right now at this present given time. But I'm trusting teams of light and everything that is happening for the divine reason and cause, but it just felt like everything is happening all at once, and I just hit that point of just absolute snapping point, absolute breaking point, absolutely just I don't know exactly what is happening, but I just feel like I'm in a puddle, and me just having to feel through those energies. And as much as I can speak to teams of light, I can call beings in, sometimes they do just have to leave me to be a puddle on the floor for me to just experience it and process it in the ways that is just going on within that physical vessel and I guess energetic body somewhere, oversouls, etc., fragmented souls of me, etc. So that's just I guess if you've been feeling the same, you haven't done something wrong. I very much felt like I'd done something very wrong. Maybe about 3 weeks ago, I thought, what is happening? What have I done? Because I shouldn't be feeling this way right now on my path and my journey. But teams of light, have assured me that it's just part of the process again. So remember that, everyone. If you are there right now, just keep looking after self and taking time out where you can to be looking after self and nurturing yourself to its deepest capacity, because you're really going to need it. And this idea of having a real strong sense of self is really going to need it to be sunk into one's own understanding before we reach October, which I know is days away. But you're going to have to find your center. You're going to have to put 2 feet on the ground here somewhere, because I think we're all going to need it. And I don't know what is going to happen / what is happening exactly behind the scenes, but I think there is a lot that is just being conjured up in spaces that we do not need to be connected into. And I think some of you energetically feel into this notion, so please do not hesitate to reach out to myself if you would like to converse about something that is happening to you or brought to your attention, because I think there might be a lot that is brought to the collective's table so that you can work through it, so that you can see it in those deeper spaces of light later down the line. And I was getting this strong notion of, if not now, then when? And this idea of that so many of us have been asking to catapult forward. It's almost like that time for that catapult to happen is coming. It's very close. It's almost imminent, which is why we're feeling in all of this, expanse. It's such a crippling capacity for some. And this isn't going to be for everyone. Some of you out here might be reaching your points of grounding in, I guess, your manifestations and the lighter aspects of self and soul, which is, you're in complete alignment as well. I'm just reaching out to those souls that might be in the spaces of collapsing. As I am in this space, because it really did take me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to feel I think this terrible at this stage of my journey. I thought, what have I done wrong? I've very much been working so hard at this for a little while now, and I just thought, wow, I did not expect to feel like this. And teams have assured me that it's just so I can catapult further forward in my expression. There are still some aspects of self and soul that I was really having to seed in and to self, so that I have the capacity to hold more in the times to come. And that's going to be the same for all of you too. So you haven't done something wrong, something hasn't gone on awry. You're completely in straight alignment is what I want to share. And I think that I just wanted to say that whatever is plaguing you right now, it won't plague you forever. And this is perhaps something that you've been sat with for a incredibly long time. Some of you send it up to universe, teams of light right now, so that they can help you release yourself from those constraints. It's very much feeling like this is a space of where we're breaking free from all constraints of the past. And this is why, you know, I felt incredibly destabilized, because I felt the collapsing of fragmented selves, of my personal self, you know, and other spaces being pulled into my energy. So something that I've been doing of late is calling all my energy back to me from all spaces, all time, and really feeling that physically come into my own energy again, and, you know, at a deeper capacity than I thought possible. And something has shifted behind the scenes where I feel like there is a pocket, potentially a portal, that has opened up, that is bringing forward a lot of energetic upgrades for us in the collective. So please harness into this energy. If you feel like you need to just be, you know, taking time away from everyone and just sitting with self, receive those downloads, whether you physically feel this, whether this is something that you are cognizantly aware, an awareness of. I promise you, if you are sitting there, you are receiving, and it will come to fruition when it is supposed to. But I feel like there is a lot that is being brought forward to us now, so that we can harness it in right now, so that at a later date we can use that energy, that understanding, for the betterment of ourselves and those around us. This feels like we are just receiving a lot of energy and a lot of understanding at this time, and it might just feel very chaotic to you. You might not know exactly what is happening, but just please know you haven't done something wrong. It just felt like I just needed to share that, and, you know, to lend an ear to those that might need it, and, you know, to say that I'm completely here to support you and whatever you are experiencing. And if you need a helping ear, a helping hand, I'm here for that. And this idea of being resourceful, using what you have around you, and I've definitely been back to using my crystals to their deepest capacity, and that being something that I've been very strict on again, and being very strict on self too, and not allowing myself to stray from that which I know isn't going to be for my highest good. And this includes, you know, the mental processes too. And it can be very easy to slip oneself into the past and, you know, that which we have experienced when we're dealing with shadow, and to allow ourselves to stay there. If you're doing shadow work right now, if you're deep in shadow self and experiencing that of the past, know that it is the past. You know, parallel, it's always happening at the exact same time, but for the purposes of your 3D life, that version of you does not exist anymore, and you get to have that be how you want to live. And, you know, something that's been brought to my attention is that it's not been myself that has been struggling with me being anew. It's been beings around me, you know, these beings that care about me. You know, this has not been a sinister expression. Well, you know, not all anyway, but some beings have found it difficult for me to step in and forward to them in this new, I guess, newest version of me, because they knew that which I once was. So allow for you to understand that if you are feeling pushed back in energy, perhaps it's not your energy, and make sure that you are cutting cords with everyone that is around you at this time, you know, family, friends, everyone. I do this with all of you. I do this with all my family, all my friends, and anyone that is consuming me in some way, energetic or otherwise, because we are just passing information back and forth and energy back and forth, and we want to make sure that it's the clearest channel as possible, specifically now. And, you know, making sure that you are cleansing all your spaces, and, you know, cleansing your physical vessel as much as you can as well. I've definitely been smudging a lot more. I've just been having a lot of candles on and incense burning at all times. I mean, that's just a given, but I feel like I've just been maxing out in that expression, and cleaning my crystals after I've been sleeping with them daily as well. And that's not necessarily something that I would do every day. I do it every week at least, but this has been a daily practice, because I know in my dream time I'm stepping into spaces that I do not need to be bringing back into my present given reality. So I've been cleansing myself and bringing myself into the present moment as soon as I wake up, and that being something that I'm very, very strict on, because I can feel the difference between that energy, and I know not everyone can particularly feel it at all times. So I'm just making these aspects be aware to you, so that you can seeding these notions of self, whether you're in the feeling aspect of that, because I don't want some of you out here to be getting even more confused in your spaces. So please be strict on self with regards to cleansing yourself and your spaces, and cleansing your crystals too, if that's something that you partake in. And just be aware of everything that is happening around you, and it's okay to be triggered to the highest degree right now. There was definitely things that have been put on my path over the past 3 weeks that I just thought, oh my gosh, that I've not felt emotion erupt in me like this for a very long time, and me just absolutely coming to, you know, almost snapping point in expressions with others, because it was just so triggering for me. And I thought, I've not been in this space for a really long time, and, you know, that was to show me just how much I've grown, but also so that I could see the spaces that I was being triggered in the past, and understand, you know, why that was happening back then. So if you are being brought quite I guess harsh and I don't know how to word it, quite extreme expressions being brought forward to you right now, please know that that is for your highest good. And however you receive those expressions and how you behave in that present given moment is going to allow for you to know just where you are in your soul's expression, and see that as not a point of, I've done something wrong if you feel like you've behaved lesser than you wanted to in that space, but just see it as a marker point of how you will want to change perhaps in the future, or just a marker point of how much you have grown already. And there is no wrong way, right now. However you are showing up, however you are being triggered, however you're being pushed into a state of real sensibility right now, it's here for your highest good. But I feel like all of these niggling aspects are coming up now, if not now, in the next few weeks. For some of you, I often feel like I received something before and ahead of time than others. So I guess this is just a warning message of that. And know that it is all working out for your highest good, even when it feels so triggering, so chaotic, and you might just be a complete puddle like I have been. And slowly but surely things have been coming back into my full awareness. I thought, oh, okay, that's why I've been doing that or feeling this way. It's been seeding in this expression. And teams of light are here. But I've been going through a shift, and whom is going to be my first points of call in terms of my own personal journey. I have the guides that I bring forward for all of you, and of course they're my personal guides, but I have my own personal teams behind the scenes as well that I've been having a mix-up of, a reshake of, not a mix-up of, a reshake of, and different expressions being brought forward that want me to be channeling them in the future, and me seeing that ahead of time. And that's not something that I've been able to do up until this path so far. So I'm grateful to be able to see a bit more in advance, because it was always just this gray space that I couldn't access for a real long time. So I'm very excited for that. I know that so many of you are just in the pits of it right now, but I promise you it's so that you can seed in as much light as possible. So do not despair if everything just feels like it's been completely flipped on its head. I felt like I'd gone right back to the beginning of my journey, and I just thought, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna make it out of this? And you do. I promise you, you do. And I'm seeding in light for you, even if you are in the darkest of spaces right now. But trust that wherever you are is working out for your highest good at all times. And please, when you can, just try and take those breaks and those relaxing times and those spaces where you can seed in joy and pleasure for self, however that displays itself to you in the present given moment. Allow for a bit of light in, even when you're in the midst of the shadow. And that was something that I would miss often, because I would get trapped in my shadow aspects of self, and I would feel really down about self and the ways that I had behaved, were continuing to behave, and I still consider myself to be behaving in shadow in some aspects somewhere. We all are growing. Sometimes we think, gosh, I wish I'd behaved a little bit differently then or now, and that's okay. We are consistently growing, and that is part of life. And I feel like I was trapped in such fear of doing things wrong for a really long time that in some aspects I was just completely acting out because I just wasn't living in alignment of self. So please remember that I brought forward a message through the angelic council that's connected to sin, that's going to come out at the end of this week. And I feel like that expression is going to bring up a lot for the collective, and perhaps trigger a lot of this shadow expression. Okay, that's why I've done this video. I knew there was a point to all of this. It wasn't truly mine. And yeah, I feel like that video might trigger a lot of shadow work that some of us sink into throughout October. So just be aware of that, and be observant of your thoughts and your feelings. And I think that is the safest space to be. Allow for your triggers to be brought into awareness for you, but please do try and just sink into knowing that you are being triggered, and that be the first point of expression. I would feel triggered and I would absolutely explode, and now I've gotten to the point where I think, oh, okay, I'm being triggered. I get to decide how I want to behave in this present given time. So have that as a notion that you bring forward. I'm being triggered. It's okay. I can witness it, and then I can decide how I want to act, because I feel like some quite explosive expressions might be brought forward to some to be a test for you. So, whatever happens, it was supposed to happen. But please know that you are always supported at all times. But I think this is to really help some of you reach that point of stepping through, through this shift into the next bit, and through this portal of absolute acceleration, or, deciding if you are going to take a little bit of a slower pace, is what I want to share. I feel like we've hit those chronicle points of, just seeding in the utmost that we are capable of right now. And there is no wrong and right path. but just see that as the expression that is being brought forward and how you want to behave in that present given time. And just bear witness to those around you, because they'll be going through the same things. I've just been seeing people absolutely explode around me, or just be brought to their absolute breaking points. And I thought, gosh, yeah, okay, it's not just me. This is happening to a lot around me. So just hold love and compassion as much as you can for those souls around you, because you're going to be seeding in the light for so many. Please don't forget that, everyone, and wherever you are in your expression, you know, you are doing the most. You are doing so well, and I'm incredibly grateful to have you all here as part of this community. I feel like I've grown so much seeding through your expression and your understanding, as well as mine, as well as, you know, those teams of light that are trying to work through all of us here in this space. So I'm holding you all in love and in heart, and yeah, I'll be back real soon. You will still receive videos from me this week, but it will be a week's break, and I'll be back. I'm not entirely sure with what at this point, but there has been some aspects that have already been brought to my attention that I know that I'm going to be seeding in the future, and I think that I'm having to energetically align with that expression before I can bring it forward, everyone. So lots to come. Please go easy, please go well, and please have some fun. Take some time out and be looking after mental, mind, physical body, and, you know, etheric expression, energetic body alongside each other in tandem. It has to be, you know, a 3-point call of expression within that. And yeah, super duper stay hydrated as well, everyone. But that's all from myself today, and I'll be back real soon. Take care.